Hey guys, welcome back. It is week 3 of technical and professional writing, and we are starting a new week of assignments and fun and all that good stuff. So I'm going to, as usual, kind of take you on a little stroll through what's happening this week and what you will be working on this week, as well as give you some hints and all kinds of stuff to help you with this week's work. So let me open the course, and I'm also going to open a Word document that we're going to look at here in a little bit. So let me turn on the student view. I don't know why I didn't do that already, but there we go. Now it looks right. So welcome back. Like I said, it's week 3, and I'm gonna scroll down first and we'll talk a little bit about where we are. Last week, of course, the big assignment was the experience and interest inventory. And this week you are working on another report style document. This one where you're going to be practicing your professional writing. And this week, we also have a discussion board topic on social media and the professional world, which many of you cited as one of the things you were excited to write about when you were doing your introduction. So very happy to hear that. And I'm looking forward to reading your input on that. So one of the other things that we're going to be doing this week is you're going to get my feedback and your grade back on the experience and interest inventory. And so I want to talk a little bit about how to find that feedback and how to use that feedback. In terms of how to find your feedback, when you get a new grade, you can click on the grades link and you will see all of your scores. If it's already been graded, there will be an actual score there. If you've not turned it in, it will say missing. And if you have turned it in, but it hasn't been graded yet, you will see the little Word document type thing. When you get a grade, you want to actually read my feedback or listen to my feedback, depending on how I've managed that for this particular assignment. And you can do all that by clicking on the title of whatever it is. Now, I have not gone in and graded this, but let me show you what that will look like. You will see your document again. And over here in the comment box, you should have my comments. You will also be able to open the rubric and see how you scored in each category. A good kind of rule of thumb is if you're scoring in the highest category in excellent or competent, then it's an area that you're doing fine in. If you are scoring and needs improvement, it's something you probably want to pay a little bit more attention to. And then you can, if I have recorded some comments, which I do sometimes, you'll see the link for that as well. If you ever have questions about the feedback or the grade, you want to make sure that you send me a message in the inbox and don't just put a comment here. Canvas doesn't let me know that there's a comment here. So every once in a while, I'll just happen to see it, but it will not send me a notice that like, hey, there's a new comment. So once a grade has been entered, I typically do not look back there. So be sure to inbox me. All right, so module number 3, we are working on professional writing. And this is a challenge for a lot of people because we don't do it much anymore. Most of the communication that we have, even in a professional setting now, is done over email or done over computers in some way, shape, or form. But we are still kind of held to the standards of business writing. When we apply for jobs, for example, we are expected to have a professional resume and a cover letter. Even if we're doing it online, we're still expected to adhere to all of those traditional requirements. So we're going to learn about that this week. So if we click on the overview and learning materials, you will see that, of course, we have a number of links as usual. In the textbook, you're going to read about ethical and legal obligations. also writing collaboratively in social media, and then of course the various styles of business writing, which is the longest section that you will read for this week. I do also have a video walkthrough specifically on grade feedback. And of course, this one, I used an actual graded assignment so you can see what it will really look like. We have a video on social media and professionalism, some information on business letter basics, because that's what we're practicing a lot this week, and then workplace communication. And of course, you're already watching the walkthrough video. So then we can go back to the modules and take a look at the assignments. Now, as I mentioned, many of you had already specified that you were excited about this one. So I'll take a quick look at the discussion board. In this discussion post, it's time to let your classmates and instructor know your thoughts on social media and how it affects our lives. And there are some kind of thought questions that you can use to get yourself started. What social media platforms play an important role in our society and in your own life? What impact can social media have on our personal lives and our work lives? There've been a lot of stories about how people's jobs have been affected by what they've posted on TikTok or whatever. And sometimes it seems unfair, but then it also, if you're posting something in public, it's public. So it's a whole interesting thing. Like I said, I'm fascinated to hear what you guys have to say about it. The other questions that are here, and this is actually something that does happen. Do you believe that employers should have access to the social media content for all of their employees? Why or why not? And do you believe that comments made on social media should be monitored and censored? Why or why not? There's no right answer to that. You can have whatever opinion you want, but I do want you to talk about that. It is common now for employers to search for your social media or even ask for you to open your social media in front of them and give them access. I'm not going to say how I feel yet. It's an interesting dilemma. So that's your discussion board. As usual, of course, with your discussion, you want to write basically a full essay. If you do use sources, you can certainly cite those, but it's not required. This is mostly your own opinion. But if you do look anything up, make sure that you give a link to it. You don't have to have a big formal reference page or anything, but give us links to anything that you did use in creating it. All right, then we have the big assignment for the week, which is the professional writing portfolio. So in this assignment, you're going to create and share professional documents. We're going to do a memo. We're going to do various business letters, emails, how we would use text messaging in a professional setting, and also social media posts. So very much like you did with the experience and interest inventory, you're going to create a single Word document that has an APA cover page and all that. And then each of the items will start on a new page. So this particular one, you definitely will not use all double spacing. We talked about that last time with the experience inventory, because business letters are not double spaced, they're single spaced. So you want to follow all the rules of whatever it is that you're creating. So a memo should look like a memo. A business letter should look like a business letter. So you really want those things to be real. Now, if you did use any sources beyond our course materials, make sure that you do put those on a reference page. One of the things that I know that a lot of people have done in the past is utilize some YouTubes on how to set up a business letter and things like that. So it's absolutely fine if you want to do some research like that. Just make sure that you include those. You don't necessarily have to cite them in the document because we will just know that they helped you and influenced you, but have something there at the end on your references page to show us what sources you used. Okay, so all the required pieces will be assembled into a single document. The portfolio should include an APA cover page. And like we talked about last week, I do want you to use headings in Word so that each item will you'll be able to create a table of contents. And I'm going to give you a document that already has that set up and show you kind of how to do it. Okay. So required items, you are going to have a memo in full memorandum format to your current workplace. Now, if you don't have a current workplace, you can make one up. That's absolutely fine. You can use a real situation, or you can create a scenario where a memo would be an appropriate form of communication. If you do not have one, you can use a past job, or like I said, make one up. But a memo is internal to a workplace. Memos are not meant for public eyes. Feel free to springboard off of the examples below if you can't think of a scenario. And these are just some things that might be appropriate for a memo. Everyone is going on break at the same time, so there needs to be a memo reminding everyone to stagger breaks. There's a big sale coming up at the store, so a memo will help organize the workers and get them excited. Maybe there's a prize for the worker who sells the most during the sale, for example. Another one might be recently several workplace accidents have occurred, so you need to send out safety warnings, reminders, or updates to ensure a secure work environment. Could be recognition. It's time to recognize and acknowledge outstanding performance, achievements, or milestones of employees. And last but not least, a holiday is coming up, so the memo will inform employees about changes in work hours or office closures during holidays. Again, you don't have to use these, but for some folks, especially if you don't have a current job, it's hard to come up with scenarios. So I wanted to give you some possibilities. The next item, so that will be your memo. The next item will be an email to your boss, again, real or imagined, in which you do one of the following. And these, I do want you to use one of these as your reason, right, for your purpose for your email. One would be asking for time off for an upcoming family event. Two would be inform them of a problem occurring around your job, maybe a problem with a system, a product, or even a coworker. Three would be suggest something that would benefit the company by saving them money or increasing visibility. Four would be report customer complaints or issues and propose solutions or seek guidance on how to handle it. And then finally, provide regular updates on the progress of a project, including achievements, challenges, and future plans. This is a formal email. You are sending it to your boss. And I realize that in the real world, a lot of emails that go back and forth between bosses and employees are not at all formal, but we are practicing professional writing. Okay. The next item will be a text message to someone where you need to be more formal and use more proper language than usual. And the categories might be professional networking, job application or interview confirmation, client communication, education or academic communication, and formal invitations such as inviting somebody to a professional event or things of that nature. You do not need to actually send this as a text message, but you certainly can if you want to, and then do a screenshot and share it. That's absolutely fine. But you can also just type it into the Word document. That's fine as well. But I want it to be a professionally written text message that you might do. Then you have 2 business letters and 2 social media posts. In the first business letter, choose an issue that you would like to see addressed at Lake Sumter or your current job. Do the research needed to figure out to whom this letter should be addressed. That is very important. Do not automatically assume it should go to the CEO of a company or the college president. You want to address the letter to the person who could actually solve the problem. So in the letter, you're going to define the problem and suggest solutions, and you're going to follow all conventions of business letters, including addresses, dates, salutations, paragraphing, all of it. Capitalization, punctuate, all of it, okay? You may have to do some research in order to figure out what that looks like. So keep track of things that you have looked up. Business letter 2, choose an issue that you would like to see addressed either in your neighborhood, your city, or the state of Florida. Again, do the research needed to figure out who you should be addressing the letter to. It's probably not the mayor or the governor, although it might be. You want to address it to a person who could actually solve the problem. You need to define the problem and suggest solutions. And again, follow all of the standardized business communication rules and regulations. Social media post 1, you've accepted a new job and you want to announce it on your LinkedIn profile. Write a paragraph that would be appropriate to post on this professional social media platform. Feel free to include a photo if you want. And again, you don't have to actually post this, but you create it as if you were going to put it on LinkedIn. And then social media 2, you are participating in a community service event and want to send out a professional message about it. Please, on that one, specify where you would do it. Is it going to be on Facebook? Is it going to be on Instagram? Would it be on LinkedIn? Like, where would, if you were doing this, where would you do it? And with this one especially, it'd be great if you included a photo or video along with it. The rubric, of course, is here for you to check out in advance and before you turn it in so that you can remember what you are being graded on. And then I'm going to show you this document. All right, so this document is already set up in APA. We have the cover page, we have the page number up in the header. We have an old date, but it's fine. Nothing has changed since January, so we're going to leave it. And then you'll notice that the second page is a table of contents. Now, I'm going to show you how to create an item in your document so that it will populate on the table of contents. So far, I have the memorandum and the professional email. So the next item would be the text message. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to insert a new page. And I'm going to use my headings. We talked about those last time to create a new heading, and it will be heading 1, and it will be professional text. Okay. Like I said, you can put a screenshot here if you have a text message that you've sent to me or one of your other professors or whatever that follows all those rules. You can just put a photo of it in here. That's absolutely fine. Or you can type something out such as this would be to my English teacher. Okay. And there's some more text. All right, there's my text message. Now, I want to go back up because what we have done by using the heading, what we have done is that when we come back up to the table of contents, we're going to update the table and we're going to update the entire table and you'll see what happens. It automatically adds the right page number, adds the right formatting, adds everything. So I'm going to give you this document so you don't have to start from scratch, but we're going to be using the table of contents. We're going to be creating documents that have more and more stuff in them. And so we want to make sure that we do that correctly. So for each of the items, you will have the heading and then you will come and create the table of contents. In order to create the table of contents, I will tell you, you would go to, where is it at? In mine, because I'm on a Mac, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be under references, I believe. Yeah, under references. And you'll notice here it says table of contents, and you can choose the style. You can set it up there. If you need help with that, feel free to let me know. Or as I mentioned earlier, feel free to use YouTube and figure out how to do it. It's really not that tough, but I want you to practice it. And like I said, I will give you this document as kind of a head start. So be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, happy professional writing. I will look forward to your social media posts and your portfolios.